We light our chalice with these words by Lisa Doge.
For the new year, just days away, beginning again, always beginning.
We light our chalice, symbol of faith, perseverance, and hope, in astonished thanksgiving and irrepressible praise.
For beginnings that emerge out of endings, appear amidst continuity, become visible in hindsight.
We light our chalice, symbol of faith, perseverance, and hope, in astonished thanksgiving and irrepressible praise.
For all the times and all the ways we have begun anew together.
We light our chalice, symbol of faith, perseverance, and hope, in astonished thanksgiving and irrepressible praise.
Welcome to the Morristown Unitarian Fellowship. My name is Charles Loflin, and I have the distinct privilege to be your ministerial intern. I am so glad to invite you here, whether you are a longtime member or a first-time visitor. We are so glad that you've taken the time to join us. If you happen to be here during either our Facebook premiere or our YouTube premiere, then I invite you to say hello in the comments. Also, you can find out more information about all of our programming by going to our website at www.muuf.org. I welcome you this morning with these words. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come.
Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos, Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos, Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos, Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos, Siyahamba, hamba Siyahamba, hamba Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos, Siyahamba, hamba Siyahamba, hamba Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. Caminando en la luz de Dios, 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 caminando, vamos caminando, vamos caminando en la luz de Dios, caminando, vamos caminando, vamos caminando en la luz de Dios. Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos, Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos, Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos, Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos, Siyahamba, hamba Siyahamba, hamba Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos, Siyahamba, hamba Siyahamba, hamba Siyahamba kukanyen kwenkos.
New Year's Day by Reverend Kathleen McTigue. The 1st of January is another day dawning, the sun rising as the sun always rises, the earth moving in its rhythms. With or without our calendars to name a certain day as the day of new beginning, separating the old from the new. So it is, everything is the same, bound into its history as we ourselves are bound. Yet also we stand at a threshold, the new year something truly new, still unformed, leaving a stunning power in our hands. What shall we do with this great gift of time, this year. Let us begin by remembering that whatever justice, whatever peace and wholeness might bloom in our world this year, we are the hearts and minds, the hands and feet, the embodiment of all the best visions of our people. For the new year can be new ground for the seeds of our dreams. Let us take the step forward together onto new ground, planting our dreams well, faithfully, and in joy.
I've discovered the secret of happiness is learning how to glide. I've discovered the secret of happiness is just enjoy the ride. Don't let the journey be tainted by pride. And I've discovered the secret of happiness is not to mourn the past. I've discovered the secret of happiness is not to run too fast. You can still beat them by coming in last. 'Cause the secret of happiness is I've discovered the secret of happiness is not to be afraid. I've discovered the secret of happiness is all illusions fade. Don't fear the future, you'll just be delayed. 'Cause the secret of happiness is living in the now. Living in the time it takes to blink, I think is how we're meant to be living. I've discovered the secret of happiness is following my will. I've discovered the secret of happiness is though we can run that hill, happiness comes when we learn to be still. And the secret of happiness is the secret of happiness is clear. The secret of happiness is near. The secret of happiness is here.
One of the things I have particularly enjoyed over the last few years is reading humorist David Barry. Although he retired from his weekly column in 2004, he has continued to write his annual Year in Review feature. This year, the subtitle was, 2020 was a year of nonstop awfulness. He opens the article by saying, we're trying to think of something nice to say about 2020. Okay, here goes. Nobody got killed by the murder hornets, as far as we know. That's pretty much it. He goes on to recap this most surreal of all possible years. And remarkably, he manages to dance on the knife's edge with his patented blend of sarcasm and wit, finding the humor in the inherently tragic. Barry has said of his own sense of humor that it's a measurement of the extent to which we realize that we are trapped in a world almost totally devoid of reason. Laughter is how we express the anxiety we feel at this knowledge. And honestly, my experience reading it this year was a bit disconcerting. I mean, the ability to laugh at the absurdity of it all was cathartic, although it was often the sort of laughter that was simply holding back the alternative tears. But to a great extent, what I want to do is move past the notorious year that has been 2020. Just forget that it ever happened. Goodbye and good riddance. And that doesn't seem like such an unreasonable proposition. I mean, yes, we know that there isn't really anything meaningful about the turning of our calendars from 2020 to 2021. It's not like something magical happens at the stroke of midnight on December 31st. And yet still, there are things we hope for 2021. The vaccine promises a seismic shift to how we've been living our day-to-day lives. Now, certainly, life is not going to revert back to being exactly the same as it was before. There are likely long-term consequences that will permanently alter our sense of normalcy. And predicting exactly what those changes will be, well, that's beyond my prognostication skills. But it is not difficult to imagine the possibility at some point in 2021 of larger gatherings once again. So would it be such a bad thing to simply let go of 2020 and move on to 2021, something that promises to be, at the very least, a remarkable improvement? If ever there was something to put in the rear view mirror, would it not be this last year? Maybe. I mean, I certainly feel that impulse, a desire to shift my attention away from what has been towards a better future that may yet be. But there is also, at least for me, a whisper to beware the danger of too quickly moving on. That perhaps there is a difference between letting go to avoid what is uncomfortable and letting go of that which truly no longer serves me. And if I stay a moment longer with that thought, there is something of significance in the question of what is the nature of letting go in a healthy way. The 2013 movie Gravity was directed by Alfonso Cuarón and written by Alfonso and Jonas Cuarón. It tells the story of two astronauts, played by Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. They find themselves facing disaster when a routine spacewalk goes decidedly wrong. The unintended collision of two satellites creates a deadly debris field that decimates the entire area and destroys their shuttle. In the aftermath of that devastation, Bullock's character, Dr. Ryan Stone, is adrift in space, literally spiraling out of control and with dangerously depleting resources of oxygen. Their survival depends on reaching a nearby space station while tethered only to each other. And as if that were not enough, all of this must be accomplished within 90 minutes because that deadly debris cloud will complete another orbit of the Earth and return to wreak further destruction. In so many ways, it is an apt metaphor for 2020. One of my favorite lines from that movie occurs at a moment when it seems like their plan might just work, but then that situation becomes even more dire. In that moment, Clooney's character, Kowalski, says to Dr. Stone, "You have to let me go." Stone, of course, protests, to which Kowalski replies, "It's not up to you." That is an inevitable letting go. It's a decision for survival brought about by circumstances beyond anyone's control. It is inherently tragic, but it is also absolutely necessary. Letting go in such circumstances can be unbearably painful. But it will not be the only time in the story that Dr. Stone is faced with letting go. In fact, all of this happens about a half hour into the movie. With an hour of movie left, the story is by no means complete. That's only the first chapter. The second moment of letting go comes when Dr. Stone has managed to board the relative safety of the space station's evacuation module, only to discover that its fuel has been depleted. The lifeboat proves insufficient and all hope seems lost. And in this moment, the character of Dr. Stone wrestles again with letting go, but this time, it is a temptation of surrender. It is a letting go of hope and an invitation to drift into resignation. But this too is not the end of the story. Dr. Stone summons her resolve, and through yet further travail, she comes to her third and final moment of letting go. Having survived the nearly impossible sequence of events, she's literally reached the final moment of decision. One of two outcomes is now possible, and she says, all right, the way I see it, there's only two possible outcomes. Either I make it down there in one piece and I have one hell of a story to tell, or I burn up in the next 10 minutes. Either way, whichever way, no harm, no foul, because either way, it'll be one hell of a ride. I'm ready. This is the character's moment of enlightenment. And as a visual clue to reinforce the significance, in the seconds before that dialogue, the camera briefly focuses on a small statue of the Buddha. But what exactly is the nature of this final letting go that is so different? Well, I think it's significant that at that moment, the focus of Bullock's character is fully present in the now. The moment is neither focused on what has come before or on the possibilities that may come to be, but fully, completely committed to the now. To truly live in the now requires a letting go of both what has been and what might yet be. It is not denial of past or future, but acceptance. Buddhism calls this mindful presence. In Roman mythology, the god Janus is depicted as having two faces that gaze backward and forward at the same time. And it is from Janus that the month of January derives its name. In some African traditions, the word Sankofa refers to a bird that is often depicted as looking backwards even as it is moving forward. And in process theology, this idea takes form in the concept that the entire universe is bursting into existence in each moment, in the now. And that is what I am hoping to embrace on the verge of a new calendar year, a reaffirmation to relish the now. Doing so requires a continual letting go. It's letting go of what has been, letting go of what might be, and being as present as possible in this moment. It is for me both a letting go of what has been and a letting go of what I hope will be in favor of mindfulness. A mindfulness to this moment, to this very sacred moment. May all our letting goes be sacred. In just a moment, we're going to participate together in a fire ritual, a ritual of letting go. For those of you who were able to join us on site at our solstice celebration, we had a table set up where you were invited to write on a little slip of flash paper on one side something that you wanted to let go of, and on the other side, something that you were affirming for the new year. We'll be showing some of that video here as well. But if you weren't able to be there, or even if you were, I invite you to take this opportunity, if you so choose, either to write down again something that you're letting go of and something that you're affirming for the year to come. And if you so choose, you can also put that in the chat if you'd like to share it. To the flames we release the past, letting go of what has been. To the flames we release the future, letting go of what might be. To the flames we embrace the now, living in this sacred moment.
I invite us all to sing together the fire of commitment. From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Our worship has ended. Now let our service begin.
Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be